Hey, ladies. So, as we get a little bit older and we have babies and operations and all kind of stuff, what ends up happening is all of our organs and everything that kind of are up underneath the rib cage here start to sink down, and we end up with that bigger lower belly pudge, and it's so hard to really work with. So, I'm here to share with you a great kind of a two-part move that Teresa Tapp created for us that absolutely works. So she called it organs in place, putting them back in place with half frog sit-ups just to help us cinch in. So that's what I'm going to detail out for you right here. All right. This is a floor move. We can also do it standing, but let me share with you the floor move. So I'm going to kind of put myself at a little bit of an angle so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to allow myself to roll on down here in a nice way to protect the back. So with this move, number one, you want to check that your feet are right in a line with your hip ball joints, not out too far and definitely not too close. Okay. So how will you know? Well, you can kind of take your hands right about the hip ball joints. Knees should be straight up to the ceiling, and then the feet are right underneath you. Now, with this move, there's a lot, it's really about a pelvic curl, okay, a pelvic tilt. And I think it's really important for us women to begin to really get that sense of isolation of our pelvis. So we tend, because we've been sitting so long and trauma, etc., we tend to lock up a lot in that pelvic region, and we don't get good movement. And when that happens, it affects everything all the way up and down the chains of the body. So I like to kind of start, let me just kind of get myself in a good place for you, to just start with some pelvic tilts to get that felt sense, that somatic sense. So like I'm going to inhale and arch my back. Now what I mean by that is I'm going to tilt down so that I get a nice little arch in my lower back. Some of us have more of that arch than others. And then I'm going to exhale and just kind of let it come to neutral. And then I'm going to curl up a little bit more so I can feel my lower back pressing. There's no airspace. So it's a little bit of a tilt under. We call that an arch. And then I'm going to come back and flatten. Okay. So you just start to get a sense of the movement of the pelvis. Now, on the next part, we're going to inhale arch just to give that. And then you're going to tilt. You have flat back and continue up with the tilt. So thinking about this, like you're tilting it up. Now I'm up, but only like to the bottom of my lumbar vertebrae. Okay. I'm not all the way up. I just have a nice little tilt here. And you can even put your hands here and do a tilt so you can feel it. And then just kind of adjust the feet as far closer, far away so that you can kind of hold that and feel like the feet and everything are in alignment. Now, in this position, we're tilted. So already gravity is pulling everything that's gone south up underneath the rib cage. And we're just going to use our hands to increase that and really pull it up. So you're going to take your hands like in these little karate chops right here on the inside. Let's go this way. On the inside, I'm going to actually switch it. Fingertips right inside of that left hip ball joint, the hip bone. And I want you to really dig down in there and kind of scoop the guts to the center, towards the center line of your belly button, and then pull it up. So you're holding everything from the left side in. I know this is weird. Keep the knees straight up. They're going to want to open them so you can feel what that feels like. You lose all that activation. So keep them up. And now I just want you to use your brain to think, tighten the muscle and pull it down towards your spine. So the tighten is a pressing in and a gentle release. Don't push out. So you're going to tighten it in and you're going to release and you're going to tighten it in 2 or 3 times is good. Now you're going to take your fingertips in front of the opposite hip ball joint and you're going to push it in towards the center and scoop it up. Tighten it in, pull it down, release, pull it down, release. And notice those knees so want to open. Keep them straight up. Now, the last part is we're going to take our karate chop side of the hand down by the bladder, keeping that tilt, and you're just going to wiggle it all up. So now everything feels like it's right under this rib cage. Tighten it in, release, tighten it in. Now, as you're tightened in and you're holding it, you're going to do little tiny butt lifts. So little lift and release, lift and release. So every time you lift, if you can think, pull down, in other words, belly button to spine, belly button to spine, little release, belly button to spine, little release. What are you doing? You're building, starting to pull up and build some spinal girdle with all that. Now we're going to lower down. In the lower down from that top vertebrae that's off the floor, you're going to think one vertebrae at a time. You might really feel that in your glutes too. So now we've already pulled everything up and done that. Here's the next part, okay? So you're going to bring your legs right up like this, ideally with the hip and the knee in a straight line. Now, for those of us that are a little weaker, we're going to end up wanting to do this. But ideally, you want to go here and you want to make sure that your lower back is pressing. So if you do not have the strength to do that, I'm going to give a modification. But for now, I'm going to hold here. Now, this whole time, I'm pressing my lower back down. So I'm working all these muscles. Ideally, you're going to have your hands in those bear claws, pull your knuckles back with a thumb, and we say thumbs away. So the thumbs are facing outside. Feel the whole top of your arm and shoulder because you can use that for leverage. So in this position, pressing down, press your knees and your feet together, press lower back. Then you're going to open the knees and the feet to about shoulder width, okay? Thumbs away. Press down into the ground with the upper body, pull that belly button in, and gently lift that lower belly and that back to here, and then bring it right back where this is in alignment, and then bring them back together. You might even want to pull them out a little bit, but press lower back. So let's do 4 of those a little bit quicker. So it's an open. We say tuck lift, but it's really pulling up the tailbone up and then bring it all the way back, press lower back, and bring them together again. So it's an in, open, press, lift, and back and out, and in, and open. These are called half frog sit-ups. One more time. In and open, press and lift, and back. Then just bring them hip width and drop on down. And just to release the back out a little bit, you might want to even bring them in and do a little bit of a side to side. So that's really challenging, doing that lift and then keeping the back straight as you come right to here. So if you have a difficult time with that, with the lift, and you very well might, let me share with you a really nice modification. So I'm just going to pause this so I can redo my camera. So let me do a pause. So if you have, all right, so if you have a hard time just trying to lift that tail, once you've put your organs in place, check this out. If you have a place where you can go against the wall, not my shoes on, you can always take your shoes off, but you want to put the feet up on the wall. And ideally then you'll still have this alignment. I might come in just a little bit. See where my knees are right out from my hips and knees and ankles are there. The upper body can be the same way. I might move it away just so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Again, you can do that arch. Think about the pelvis. And as you're doing a little bit of lift, you can even gently press the feet in. Now with this as well, keep the knees in alignment. So tucking under, let's just assume you've already done your organs in place. You can do it away from the wall or here. And now once we're here, you can have the hands there and just think, gently press the heels or the feet into the wall. You feel your lower back and then just think, really curl up and lift to where you would have before, and then curl on back, tuck and lift, and back. So every time you tuck and lift, you're thinking you're rolling the pelvis up, right? Gravity, Pull the belly button to the back spine and release. Tuck and lift and release. So you can see you're actually doing a similar type of motion as you are with half frogs, but you have some support here for that back. And this will work as well. So just focusing on that tilt of the pelvis, pressing in, keeping the knees up, and just start doing it like this. Love for you to give that a shot and come back and let us know how that worked for you. Thanks so much. You have a fit and fabulous day.